The 837th edition of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Edge Boost, the bank account built for bettors. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet with promo code SGPN and get a $25 deposit bonus.
Heidi Ho DeGenerinos. Welcome to episode 837 of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, dedicated to Mikey Raw, a huge fan of mine on YouTube. I just hope, I don't really care what Mikey Raw or anyone says. I just hope that's not Gumby's burner account, because if that's Gumby's burner account, we got.
Did you get some hate? Did you get some hate?
A little bit of hate. But that's okay. Like
that's how you know you made it, because usually the hate only comes from me on the regional stuff.
Yes.
Sometimes from fighters I pick against, sometimes from people who didn't follow all my advice. But
it was hate for me not watching as much MMA as you, I think, is basically what it is.
Okay.
But
that's hard to do, man.
Yeah, exactly. I don't have time for this. Who am I, you may ask? If you're on YouTube, you see I am the Heidi Heiner, Jeff Fox. That's what auto captions thinks I say to kick off every episode. So that's my name now, Heidi Heiner. The other voice you heard was the one and only Daniel Gumby Vreeland. This episode, I'm glad we have something to talk about. We don't have to talk about the train wreck that was UFC, whatever that was last night. Not only did I only go 3-5, Gumby went 4-4. Gumby beat me, which is bad enough in of itself there. But we did 11 fights originally, and we only really got results for 8, and it was a freaking train wreck of a night, and none of the fights were good, and nothing mattered really.
Michael Aswell versus Balajiak,
that was a good fight. And the opener, one fight of the night, I don't know.
I don't know about that one of the night.
Yeah,
did you think it was really good? I mean, they landed a lot of punches, but I don't know if it was
It's not like these are high-level fighters either, those two pals. So
it's really too bad for High-End Amanda. She really belongs at atomweight, and it's she's only not sticking in the UFC because they don't weight class.
Well, she is going to go to atomweight now because she's going to get cut and back to
most likely.
What a freaking disaster of a night. The main event didn't happen. At least
that was nuts, dude. Not happening, first of all, is a thing, right? Like, some fights didn't happen. We lost that Paul Craig fight not that long ago. And so fights get canceled all the time. We lost the Jamal Emmers, Chaz Skelly one when Chaz was already in the cage. You remember that? But this one was, they showed the package. They showed the highlight package. And then they cut to the desk and they're like, what? And it was just really upsetting because I thought Macy Barber was going to get what was coming to her.
And I don't know. I want to speculate what happened.
Did you hear Erin Blanchfield talk about it afterwards? She's happy to speculate.
Blanchfield, I guess, was the one that started the seizure speculations. Maybe that was a legit thing that happened. But apparently she was not well all week, and she missed weight, did not look well on the scale at all. She did not look healthy on the scale. So who knows? For her sake, hopefully, obviously. Well, we joke about Macy Barber lots, but we don't want any harm to happen to her. Gummy just doesn't want to watch her fight. That's all.
No.
But hopefully she's okay. But we don't need this fight rebooked. Just move it along.
Blanchfield said she pretty much wouldn't accept a rebook.
Yes, exactly.
This is the third time they were booked, and the second time, or the second time they were booked, and the second time Macy pulled out. So
Macy was all offended when she suggested that she wasn't going to make it to this fight either. And lo and behold,
look at
that. Weight cutting once again. It seems like to be the culprit here. People trying to cut too much weight, but hopefully that doesn't happen with CFFC 143, Gummy, because we got one more before we put that amazing event to rest. More kudos for Gumby. He had Dustin Jacoby knockout prop plus 170. So there you go. A positive.
Yeah, there we go.
Came out of the night.
I would have gotten the Erin Blanchfield sub prop too, but what are we gonna do?
Sure you would have. Yeah, sure you would have. And another thing, I'm really happy that Macy Shea Song fights so smart in the cage.
It's what I told you too. It's like, God, is she good at the thing she's good at, right?
Yeah.
But her wrestling doesn't work against people who are bigger than her or stronger than her, and she doesn't need to. Yes. But I was inexplicably she will. And that's it was and as look, I picked Ketlin Vieira and I told everybody on the show on Wednesday, we broke that fight down. I was like, I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong so much. And so even as somebody who had the winning side there, I was still like, man, this sucks.
We talked way too much about it already, Gumby. I said we weren't going to talk about it. And look at it. Well, I guess there were stories that came out of it, just none really
none helpful,
relevant in the actual cage. And
that show is Gamera is still a beast. That's a relevant story.
Is he always that fast? Like he seemed, or is he just that much faster than Klein?
I think
he was so fast.
I think it's there are levels to these things. Yeah,
he's so fast on he looked really good. But Klein, turn it on at the end there, but not enough. Yep. All right. All that yapping, I got to pull the old ad reads up because this is the original episode. No more UFC for you. We got CFFC today, and then we are getting in our time machine and we're jumping ahead because this week not the biggest,
not a great one,
not at least for like the big time regional MMA. But then next week there is more than enough. So we're going to jump in the time machine. We're going to do 2 PFL episodes to get you ready for. I guess we're up to the semifinals already, right? Next week.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep. Semifinals for featherweights and welterweights.
Yeah. Before we get to all that, reminder: the SGPN guys are going to be ripping packs live on air next Monday night. They'll be breaking a case of Panini Prisms with DAPS, and you can this advert's funny for an old guy, and you can get 10% off your favorite team with promo code SGPN. sportsgamblingpockets.com/break BREAK to get in on the action. Breaking cases and DAPS, and it seems funny. An old guy like me saying all these words, Gumby, but hey, with the Z's at the end of it. We are talking about one thing not funny. We're going serious here. CFFC 143. Hasan versus Eastman with, do you see what else is happening at this card, Gumby?
I didn't know.
Special VIP guest meet and greet with Holly Holm. Bum, bum, bum.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
She is free from the UFC shackles. Now she can make appearances at CFF.
No, a lot of regional promotions do that. It's like feature, Anthony Pettis Fight Championships is like one of the best at that. There's always like 7 guys who are there. Like Poirier shows up at those fights all the time.
Yeah, no, the UFC would have let her do this, I'm sure, whether she was a GFL right? It wasn't GFC, GFL.
I don't remember. It's
they
so
already
long
forgot.
ago.
Already put it away. All right, CFFC is going down on June the 6th. So this is one of the ones this coming weekend. This one is a Friday night one. You can give it your full attention with no other massive regional events going on. Newtown, North Dakota. Never been there. I think we've discussed it. Neither of us have been to it. The Dakotas, right?
No, not at all.
Neither north, neither south. We should, maybe we'll have to take a SGPN MMA gambling podcast road trip to North Dakota. I don't know why, but we can go to the Four Bears Casino and Lodge. That's in Newtown. I appreciate the name of that place. So Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern is the start time. UFC Fight Pass, which is convenient. Naturally, we got 11 fights. Basically, we're giving you a full breakdown of half of them. And Gumby has got 6 to choose from for the old lightning round. All right. Tapology has the incorrect order. We're going off the CFFC's order. We assume that the source knows what they'll be putting in the cage in what order. So we're starting off with I got to scroll, a middleweight fight. Davi Cabral from Brazil. Farshedi Shamsidin. He is not from Brazil. He's from Tajikistan. These guys are fighting, as I said, at 185, 3 5-minute rounds. No odds yet for this here event, but CFFC is a common one. You will be able to get odds even at one of our sponsors, MyBookie. We'll have CFFC posted almost surely. Probably midweek. Shamsidin is 2-1 with 2 knockouts. He's been submitted once. That is the epitome of someone who owes his rounds for sure. Loss, win, loss has been his pattern. He has not fought since May of 2023. He's not lost since April 2022. That's the one positive of being inactive. You don't lose fights. Used to fight at 205. Cabral is young lion. He's 4-0, 2 knockouts, 2 submissions. So he owes his rounds too, damn it. This is his debut. Actually, both men are making their debut in CFFC here. Used to fight at 170, 0-1 as a pro grappler. So a couple of up-and-comers here, Gumby. What do you know about these guys? Have you been able to get film on them? What's the deal?
Yeah, I've seen both of them fight. Cabral is definitely going to come in here as the favorite, both because on the surface, the record looks quite a bit better, right? Because he's, 5-0, you said?
4-0.
4-0. And you got 2-1 on the other side. But really, Shamsidin is 4-1.
Right.
He's got a couple of record ineligible fights in there, which obviously, if this was 4-0 versus 4-1, the books might know better to line this a little closer. I still think it's going to be lined somewhat close. I'm going to say like -200 for Cabral and like +175 for Shamsidin. And I'm going to go dog out the gate here. I actually like what I've seen from Shamsidin. Cabral is a guy who throws like a lot of low kicks, which when you're fighting a guy who can wrestle quite a bit, like in Shamsidin's case, that can be dangerous to continuously go to the kicks over and over again. And Cabral's, like, it's clear to me that he would rather wrestle and do jiu-jitsu. But like the connection between his grappling and his striking is not clean yet at this stage in his career. He'll throw hands and then he'll be at like kickboxing range and he'll shoot the takedown from kickboxing range. And that's like, a real problem when you're fighting somebody who's pretty good at wrestling. And then Shamsidin, I think kind of the opposite. Like he is maybe not the sharpest striker in the whole world. He's quick. And when he closes the distance, he's in on the takedown the way that you need him to be. And in terms of like what he can do on the mat too, I like it a little bit better than Cabral. Like Cabral is, he's pretty sharp on top, but like he goes for positions a little bit too risky. And like you can see him get high on the back when he's looking for a rear naked choke and stuff like that. It looks like he would fall off against like maybe some better opponents, but he's fought kind of, both of them have fought a low level of opponent. So it's not really either of their faults. But I like Shamsidin's hands in terms of his quickness. Even if he's maybe not the better boxer. I also just think like the takedowns are probably going to be there. And like for me, Cabral's, like I said, the shots are from too far away. Most of the takedowns I have seen him get are like body lock, inside trip stuff. I don't think any of that works against Farshedi except Shamsidin. So I'm going to go with him here probably as a medium-sized underdog.
All right, medium-sized underdog it is for Shamsidin. Kick things off. I like it. Kicking things off with the dog. 98% for Cabral. So you may
98%.
Yeah, I think
that's
so.
got to be the 2-1 record for Shamsidin.
94.
That's got to be the 2-1 record from Shamsidin, though. And Tapology folk not digging any deeper. My guess is the books will know a touch more than that.
You would assume that, wouldn't you? But who's to say? The books aren't smarter than Gumby. We have shown that before in the past. That has been proven. We beat books. We move lines, all that good stuff. All right. Let's do an ad read. How about that's what everyone's here for, right? Edge Boost, ladies and gentlemen. Edge Boost is the first ever bank account built for bettors, ensuring all gambling transactions are approved. No usage fees, no minimums. Earn cashback rewards, 100% approval for all betting deposits. So sign up today at edgeboost.bet with promo code SGPN. Deposit $25 and Edge Boost will match the deposit. That's edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. And it's time for Gumby's bonus underdog pick up and play. Underdog is going long for the NBA playoffs. Well, NBA finals are very soon, Thursday coming up with their extender bonus. Hop in game one, and the longer the series goes, the bigger the bonus gets. All right, Gumby, what you got?
I'm going to go to MLB. We got a game on Monday between the Angels and the Red Sox. The Red Sox have the returning, now in full shape, Richard Fitz on the bump. His first start back from being hurt, he didn't look too hot, but he only went 3 innings. But I'm going to take the higher than on his strikeout numbers because before he was injured, looked pretty good. And if you're going to have a bounce back game, you might as well have it against the Angels, who are slowly falling apart at the seams. So I will take the higher than on Richard Fitz's strikeouts.
Do you think his parents were naive?
I don't know, man.
Think about it, or do they have a good sense of humor?
It's pretty crazy. I mean, it like takes Rich Hill and it makes it like 30 times worse, right?
Anyhow, sign up for underdogfantasy.com with our promo code MMA SGPN to claim your special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. It's underdogfantasy.com, promo code MMA SGPN. Yes, wild choice of names. Hopefully, we have a bunch of innocent listeners who haven't clued in what Richard Fitz his name is if you shorten it. So that's good. Maybe there's a bunch of people out there, a bunch of degens that haven't figured that out. All right, we are going to scrolling. The last non-title fight on the card. Yes, but we got some gold on the line.
Not the last non-title. Oh, and the next 2 are non-title fights.
We got. Oh yeah, that's right. Sorry, I usually do 2 before the ad read. Yes. No. Gumby is correct. Gumby, that's why Gumby's here. Winning picks and keeping me on track. I'm here to deflect the hate. Frank Gumby gets plenty of hate. I'm just kidding. Frank Rayford. Don't worry, Gumby. You get plenty of hate. It's not just me. Frank Rayford against Chris Choo. Both Americans. They're fighting at 205. Three-minute rounds, it says here. Is that right? or is this a typo on Tapology's page?
I think that's a typo, unless they're just like they're light heavyweights and they could use the break.
Maybe. All right, Choo 3-2 with 2 submissions. He's been knocked out twice. He owes his rounds. This is his debut. Loss over his last 3. TKO loss in his last bout. He's fed at 185. Rayford is the Jackal. 3-1, 2 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been submitted once. He's won 2 straight, both via TKO. He's fed at 170 and 185. 0-1 in combat jiu-jitsu. That's all I got. Do you know anything about these guys, Gumby?
Yeah, I've watched them both, and it wasn't a great time. I'll be honest. You know how usually you're like, hey,
Gumby likes everything.
You guys got some people who are about to be on Contender Series. No offense to these two gentlemen if they do happen to listen in, but like they've got a ways to go before they're at that level. Right now, you know, what I would say is when you watch these two, both of them just look so sloppy striking on the feet. It's just like wide arm punches that they're trying to turn into haymakers and haven't quite figured out how to do that yet. Frank Rayford fought a guy named Jeremy Titsworth in his last.
I saw that guy. See, once again, I'm immature and I enjoy that.
Jeremy was spelled weird too. It was Jeramy. Jeremy.
Okay, well, all our surnames come from basically from our forefathers' jobs, right? So what did the Titsworth family or whatever?
Yeah, I don't know. But he fought Jeremy Titsworth, and in that fight, he like just throws like a wild haymaker and like is wildly off balance. Titsworth like grabs onto him, and then like somehow Frank Rayford winds up in mount off of that, and like it was just the sloppiest 30 seconds you've ever seen, and he comes out with a KO victory and looks good. And then Choo, like, same thing. He's kind of sloppy, but the one thing I will say about him is, like, he's held people against the cage, and he's turned them into takedowns. And, like, Rayford's loss is by submission because it seems like when he's on bottom, he doesn't have a lot of ideas of what he wants to do. He doesn't have a lot of good plans. So for me, you know, if I'm going to watch two sloppy heavyweights, first of all, we're probably not going to be able to play the sloppy fatties overs. Although, no, sometimes they got overs and unders. Sloppy fatties overs would be fun on this one. And I'm going to take Chris Choo. I think he's probably going to be the dog here. Rayford's record's just a touch better. And like he's got the knockout side of things versus the submission side of things. But I think Choo, all he's going to have to do is get him down, and he should be able to win this fight. And I think he's got the better wrestling. So give me Chris Choo. He's probably in the 200s. You know, like let's say like plus 225.
Wow, back-to-back dogs, Gumby.
That's right.
That's what we like it here. Did you hear my dog agreeing with you downstairs?
Yeah, it was an underdog heavy moment right there.
People left the house and she's jealous apparently. Let me see. Choo. Let me see what the Tapologers say. 6%, Gummy. This could be another huge one for you.
We could be out the gate hot here. Yeah,
exactly. All right. Now we're to our very last non-title fight on the old card. It is. Got it. Oh, this is the one that is not. No, this one's on not Tapology. I'm not giving Tapology a very good rating for this experience today. Now, am I? It's Schulte, right? We are.
JT Schulte and Angel Alvarez.
Angel Alvarez. Sorry, everyone. This is a lightweight bout. Angel Alvarez. He's from Puerto Rico, Cuba. Sorry about that. He is fighting against JT Schulte from the United States of America. 3 5-minute rounds. No 3-minute rounds here. 155. Schulte is 8-3, 2 knockouts, 4 submissions. He's been knocked out once. This is his debut. He's gone 6-1 over his last 7. TKO win in his last bout. An inch taller than Alvarez. Alvarez is, do you know his nickname?
Oh, we've talked about him before because we won big on him last time. I don't remember.
Salsa King.
Oh, Salsa King. Yeah.
Yes, there you go.
Not Salsa Boy. He's the Salsa
No, not
King.
Salsa Boy. Yep, I think we probably mentioned that last time too. All right, this Salsa gentleman is 8-2. I guess he is the king of all the Salsa gentlemen. He's 8-2 with 3 knockouts. He's been knocked out once, submitted once. One known CFFC. Finally, a non-debuting fighter. He's won 2 straight and 3 of 5. Regional champion. He's fed at 145 and 170. And most importantly, he's the king of the Salsa.
Yeah. I'm gonna say Alvarez like negative 225 is my guess, and I'm gonna play with him here. My first of all, I'm loyal to Angel Alvarez. We had him at, I think, plus 200 against Jacob Montalvo last time, which was a win he pulled off and made us look really good. But the thing I like about Alvarez is particularly his striking. He's one of those guys who he stands southpaw and he measures with his right hand and lands pretty consistently with his left hand. But it's not just like he puts that right hand out there and then lands the left straight and walks away. it's like the left straight, and then he uses that as his opening to like rip a combination. So like I really like what I've seen out of the stand-up. And really in that last fight, despite the fact that I'm here talking about his stand-up, in that Montalvo fight, it was mostly his wrestling that got done. And it was getting to the hips, it was taking him down, it was, you know, lacing the legs underneath, you know, like to make sure he doesn't get back up. You know, like just lots of good things out of Angel Alvarez in terms of his wrestling. And, you know, Schulte is new to the promotion, so I had to do some digging to sort of figure out what I could find about him. And what I can mostly tell is he has a really tough time with range. He has a tough time figuring out how far away from a fighter he is or how far he needs to throw that strike. And my guess is that it's mostly because he prefers to wrestle. You know, he's built like a wrestler. I've seen some takedowns out of him. They're all right. They're mostly against bad competition, so it's like hard to tell how actually good they are. But knowing how good Alvarez is in the wrestling department, like he should be able to force this into being a stand-up fight. And if he does, like, man, the way he forces people to fight at his range with that like right sticking out and then following it up with the left in a combination, I think for somebody who struggles with range like JT Schulte, I think that's going to be even worse for him. So give me Angel Alvarez here. Probably, you know, like a decent sized favorite, somebody who I wouldn't mind a straight play on, but also could be a good anchor for your parlays.
Okay. Angel Alvarez is the pick. All right, let's get you the first of our title fights. This is a interim title fight because I know the answer to this one. The champ backed out of this one, or not, didn't back out. That sounds bad, but the champ was injured. The champ would be who's the champ?
Kyle Dawkins.
Yeah, Kyle Dawkins. So is this a short notice belt for Randall Wallace?
Do you know for Randall Wallace? Yeah,
you know, like it was fairly recently, or
I want to say it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago,
okay,
if I'm not mistaken. So he's had a little bit of time. Also, it's so weird that people are calling him Randall Wallace. He's gone by Buddy Wallace for like a huge chunk of his career, if I'm not mistaken. Like I'm pretty sure I've watched fights with him being Buddy Wallace. But anyway, we'll call him Randall.
Okay, we will. I don't like when people decide, no, I'm going to be called this.
It's really hard when the really tricky ones for me is when it's like a Asian fighter in like our bastardized American form of it, like changes their name 7 different times.
Yes,
it's not good.
It's true. Or when Albert Bell, remember when Albert Bell was Joey Bell back in the day? Or you're too young for that. Yeah,
I remember when
Albert Bell, right?
I remember when BJ Upton became Melvin Upton.
Yes, yes. There's lots of funny stories like this. All right, mostly baseball. Chris Brown.
Who is Fausto Carmona? Do you remember that guy?
No,
he wound up with a new name. He was a pitcher for the Cleveland baseball team.
How about Mike Stanton? You remember him?
Before
he was Giancarlo.
Giancarlo.
Right. We're just remembering some guys now, aren't we? Chris Brown, not the singer, not the despicable woman abusing singer. Chris Brown versus Randall Wallace is for the interim middleweight championship 5-minute rounds. We tell you about Wallace. He's Braveheart, 23-10-1, 9 knockouts, 11 submissions. So he is a finisher, ladies and gentlemen. Someone got mad that I said another thing in the comments. I said someone got knocked out, and then I said she's durable. Well, if you get knocked out once and you fought like 25 times, you're still durable. Yeah. Anyhow. But knocked out once, submitted 5 times. Short notice debut, as we mentioned here. Stepping right into a title fight. 3 straight wins for him. 8 of 9 have been victories. He's won 2 straight via submission. 0-1 Bellator, RIP. 0-1 on the Contender Series. Do you remember who he fought?
Yeah, it was season 1.
Yeah, it was
he fought Charles Bird, I believe.
Yes, you're correct.
Like the one guy from he went 0-2 or 0-3 in the UFC. He's a Fortis MMA guy, and now he's one of their assistant coaches.
Yeah, excellent. So does he yell? Is he as loud as his boss?
I think he's the grappling guy, if I'm being honest. Okay. Like, because if I remember correctly, he was like good wrestling, good top control kind of guy, and so I think he's sort of the wrestling grappling sort of dude for Fortis.
So he just yells "Top Turtle" all the time, then?
Yeah, exactly.
Top Turtle. All right. So that is Mr. Randall Wallace we're talking about. There's more though. He actually has a extensive resume here. Short notice debut, 2 straight wins via submission. There you go. Charles Bird maybe taught this man that, right? Possibly.
Yeah, maybe taught something.
Taught him something. Maybe topped. Anyhow, multiple region championships on his
mantle.
All right, correct. Get our merch, get all our good stuff at sportsgambleholics.com/store. Use Federal 155 and 170, 2012 Pro MMA debut. He is fighting Brown. No, you remember Brown's
Yeah,
nickname?
Lil Breezy the Future, right?
Yeah, no, I just saw Breezy the Future. Maybe drop the Lil.
Yeah, might
but,
be
Lil
just
will make it even better. What a ridiculous nickname. Anyhow, 11-5, 5 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been he's got 1-0 in CFFC. Has he been finished? Why did I not have this written down? I think the nickname distracted me, is why I don't have all of his resume written down here. He has never been finished, so he is durable. There, is that good enough for you people? 1-0 CFFC. He's won 3 of 5. He won his last bout. He was the LFA champion. He went 0-2 in PFL. He's fed at 155 and 170. He missed weight before at 170. Should be okay at 185, you'd hope. Inch reach over Wallace.
So I'm going to go Chris Brown on this one. I think he's probably going to be a slight favorite, being that he wasn't on short notice, and Wallace's record is going to scare books off a little bit. I'm going to say like negative 165 on Brown. I'm a little worried about the size because he is, kind of a 170 guy who's now fighting at 185. But also, like, he did a really good job with Igor Kostyachenko in his last fight. Kostyachenko shot like a bunch of takedowns on him. And like scored on like 1 or 2 of them, but like Brown was right back up all the time. And then like Brown's cardio basically just held up and allowed him to take over the fight and win it by decision. And so like I like that about Brown. I also like that he just throws big. Like he's not afraid to let go of one and make sure he's throwing with power pretty much every time he throws. And while that might not be the best strategy when you're fighting all the time, when you're fighting Randall Wallace, it's probably a great strategy because Wallace too, kind of a slugger, a little bit less technical than Chris Brown, and definitely worse at protecting his chin. So he's kind of just like when he throws, he's like willing to eat one to give one. And like that might be a problem against Chris Brown, who I think is faster. And then in addition to that, too, like I was watching Randall Wallace's I wish I could remember who that fight was with. But Randall Wallace is one of his most recent fights, and like halfway through the first round, he's like, you can tell he's starting to slow down already. He's got a lot of
big muscles.
Yeah, he is jacked.
There you go.
He's
I knew it.
guy.
I knew it.
Muscles tire you guys out. And so like, yeah, Chris Brown is going to have the better cardio here, even if he doesn't get off to a good start. Wallace has obviously got the sub skills. So like, if Wallace tries to shoot a whole bunch of takedowns, as long as Brown stuffs a couple, you're probably going to tire Wallace out. You'll see Brown capitalize on the feet. And then also too, like, Wallace is going to throw huge. So like Brown just got to avoid a couple of those. That'll tire him out too. And Brown will probably land a counter. So give me Chris Brown here. Probably just a slight favorite.
A slight favorite for Lil Breezy the Future. I wouldn't laugh in his face, especially middleweight. Yeah,
he's a big dude.
Yeah, I wouldn't laugh in his face. Not that I wouldn't laugh in a flyweight's face. I would laugh in a female flyweight's face. All right, we are going to rhythm next, ladies and gentlemen. RATHMM. Our job at SGPN is to help you find the best picks. And now we've got a new tool that takes things to a whole new level. You've heard us talk about rhythm before, and they just dropped a game-changing feature called Power Trends. These are AI-detected patterns where Rhythm's model has consistently won and has a high ROI. Think a strikeout prop that wins 59% of the time when the line and win probability hit a certain range. Power Trends are updated daily and exclusive to Rhythm. No touts, no noise, just clean data-backed bets. Download the Rhythm app, check out Power Trends, and start betting smarter. We will be. That's actually very cool, the Power Trend thing. Any trends you've noticed, Gumby, without a Power Trend thing? Is there something we always tell people to look things up, but Dante DiVincenzo is not playing anymore. So
yeah, I like the lower than on pretty much anybody pitching against Kansas City's earned runs. Kansas City has been scoring really terribly lately. Yeah. That's a trend you could probably check out on.
Look it up in Power Trend. I'm sure they will back that up. And you can do that when you get a free 7-day trial via us. Go to sportsgamblingpods.com/rhythm, RATHMM. And you got another month still till the end of this month for Tantor Circus Ultimate Fantasy Football giveaway. Circa Resort and Casino in Las Vegas is giving away the ultimate fantasy football experience for a 12-person league to draft in Vegas and be treated like VIPs for their stay. The winner will receive a 2-night stay at Circa Resort and Casino for their entire 12-person league, 6 double king rooms. Hold their draft at a cabana at Stadium Swim with a $5,000 food and beverage credit, limo transportation to and from the airport, a welcome party at Legacy Club for the league, reservation at the world's largest sportsbook with $500 beverage credit for the league, a 2-hour open bar package for the league at Overhang Bar. It's on now, ladies and gentlemen, until the end of this month, June 30th. And to enter, head over to sportsgamblingpockets.com/circa. That would be sportsgamblingpockets.com/CARCA. And as I mentioned earlier, you can get all of these CFFC lines once they drop at mybookie.ag. We are brought to you by mybookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet on every sport, including the NBA playoffs and, of course, CFFC. For the true degens, the MyBookie money bag. MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of locations. Easy deposit and lightly fast payouts using crypto. Check out all the lines there. Which player are we going to talk about now in the NBA that people should check out?
Man, NBA's we're running out of people. I mean, I'm always a Chet Holmgren guy, so maybe Chet Holmgren's boards.
Usually we go
3-pointers. But... He's putting 3-pointers up too.
Yep, check it all out. Head to mybookie.ag. Promo code MMA SGPN for 100% deposit match up to $1,000. That's terms and conditions apply. That's mybookie.ag. Promo code MMA SGPN. I have seen CFFC there, right? I keep saying I have, but I'm pretty sure I have now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have.
They have most of the big ones.
Yeah, they got the big guys.
They got lots of regional ones. So, okay, cool. Where are we headed to? The main event. That's where we're headed to, of course. It's for the Cage Fury FC Flyweight Championship. That's a mouthful of a lot of words the same. CFFC FC. Bilal Hasan is the champion. He is from... Where's he from? Indonesia. He is fighting against Jason Eastman from the United States. They're fighting at 5-5-minute rounds, 125. The challenger, Eastman, he's God's champ, Gumby. Has this been verified by anyone?
That's news to me. I like that.
It's news to Gumby, and Gumby has been compared to that God person before, the Gumby God. Anyhow, Eastman's God's champ. Have him on your podcast and ask him that question. See how that goes. He's 8-4, 4 knockouts, 2 submissions, 1-1 in CFFC, 3-2 over his last 5, TKO win in his last bout. He must actually be God's champ if he's getting a title shot after he's been on the shelf since March 2023. He's only 1-1. He must be God's champ. Has not lost though since December 2021. He's fought at 135, 2014 Pro MMA debut. The champion Hasan is 6-0 with 1 no contest, 4 knockouts, 1 submission. He owes his rounds. He's 6-0 in CFFC. He's the champion. He's defended the title once already. He's won 5 straight fights. He's fought at 135, 9 years younger than Eastman, 2 inches taller. Why is he not on the on tough currently is what I'm asking.
Yeah, I actually was just going to say that. Like, he was one of my picks to put on top. My guess is his record wasn't big enough when it rolled around because he did pick up a win somewhat recently, and that made him 5-0. So my guess is that, like, the 4-0 record didn't get the people on tough excited about him, which is crazy because if you watch him fight, he's so explosive. He's an absolutely electric striker to watch fight. And there's some really exciting strikers on that season, The Ultimate Fighter too, like him versus Furkat Yokobov would have been sick fight. But like, you know, instead he's here. He's going to dazzle on Eastman. My guess, -300, -400, somewhere in that range. And like, you know, look, he's so fast on the feet. He's dynamic. He throws a bunch of different kinds of strikes. You know, you'll see spinning stuff from him, but you'll also see him stay like wildly technical and pick people apart. And then on the top of that too, like, Eastman's got kind of fun jiu-jitsu. Like, maybe that's his only path to victory. But if you watch Hasan's takedown defense, he's got great hips. He does a really good job of lowering them and making sure people don't get in on him. And then in addition to that too, when people do get in on him, and like I've seen him get like picked up like he's going to get slammed, he like blades his hips on the way down and then like basically creates like a scramble right away so that he's like never settled into a bottom position. So, you know, even if Eastman gets to the hips and tries to start something, I don't think he's going to get anywhere from there. Give me Bilal Hasan, huge favorite here.
All right, Bilal Hasan. And then what, Contender Series?
I hope so. I mean, it's hard. I mean, like they've booked a lot of those Contender Series fights already. Like, I mean, I guess like episodes 7 through 10 are still pretty wide open. So you might see him show up like right at the end of it. But I mean, he could also just be like a late replacement guy. Right. Although his record being only 5-0 and 6-0 is definitely going to be a hindrance for that.
A late replacement guy, get ready for 135 again, if that's the case, because that seems to be what happens. You have to fight at a different weight class. Anyhow, we will enjoy him in CFFC while he is there. Let's give you a recap, but don't you go away. We got more plays. I sense a storm coming. I think a lightning storm is on the way. Hasan, Brown, Alvarez, Choo, and Shamsidin. So basically, Hasan's the only one with the odds are probably going to be pretty wide in, right? The other ones,
the rest of the fight should be pretty close. I mean, I guess Choo could wind up being a big dog, but that would be great for us. Actually.
Yeah, it would be. All right, lightning round, zap, bam, boom. I was right. Lightning is here.
Yeah, I'm going to take Jartavis Jackson as my first lightning round pick. He's really quick. Not a lot of fights out there, but like from what I've seen, really quick, really explosive. Took kind of like a ugly loss in there too, so it like maybe makes his odds more playable when they roll around. But I like Jartavis Jackson a lot, and the other one I like is Alana Cook. You would like Alana Cook for two reasons. Number one, Canadian, fighting out of Niagara, top team. And then also she's got an excellent nickname. It's the Alanimal.
Sure, I approve.
You've had the Shanimal, now you have the Alanimal. But she's got a great ground game. Hasn't seen a lot of finishes as a pro, but like clearly has the ground game to like dominate some of these lower level regional fighters. And she's gonna pick up steam pretty quick. So it's the Alanimal, Alana Cook, and Jartavis Jackson are my plays.
All right, you are set now for CFFC this coming Friday. We'll be in the Discord hanging out as per usual. sportsgamblingpockets.com/Discord. We shall be. Did everyone? I wasn't really in it last night. Were people enjoying the
no, of course not.
I didn't think so. All right, check out the Discord. You can check us out on in the comment section. We'll actually watch our videos first and subscribe at MMA Gambling Podcast. Is that the name of us? Yeah, that's the name of us. MMA Gambling Podcast on YouTube. And hit us up in the comments if you like. We are at SGPN on Twitter X. He is at Gummy Vreeland. I'm at Jeff Fox Writer there. I'm also the same on Instagram. Get in my Substack. UFC pick'em contests are rolling because UFC is back and rolling. We got a pay-per-view coming next week. So we have another big UFC pick'em contest in there. So check it out. moneymma.substack.com. Gummy has a podcast called the Top Turtle MMA Podcast. He caused bad things to happen to people last week.
He got his fight rebooked.
Markel Medeiros got sick or something. Who else was on your show? And Kurt Hollabaugh got choked unconscious and dropped. So, but there's no curse. Who's on this week, Company?
So I've got a slew of them. I'm not quite sure who you're going to see yet, but I know over the next couple of weeks, we've got at least 3 or 4 Contender Series guys, including one with one of the best nicknames you've ever heard in your whole life. And then also Mansour Abdul Malik, who's going to be fighting on the 14th, will be on the show at some point in time. Which weeks everybody shows up, you're going to have to tune in and find out.
That was a very, now that I said it out loud, that was a very bad stretch of that episode.
Yeah.
Choked unconscious and dropped.
Hollabaugh was the episode before.
Okay.
And then Medeiros was with, who else did I end? Oh, Billy Goff.
Yeah, who looked pretty bad too.
got also choked unconscious.
Yes. Oh my God, that's crazy. That at least it wasn't in front of his wife in the corner coaching him.
No,
right?
but they did have that like ref camera on his head too.
Oh yeah,
like,
that was
stop
bad,
zooming
right?
in on his face.
Yeah, it looks like he's dead. Don't do that. Yeah. So some memorable things happened last night, I guess. All right, so that's Top Turtle. And of course, we're at sportsgamblingpockets.com, sportsgamblingpockets.com/store, sportsgamblingpockets.com/Patreon for some bonus content. What else should you do? When you sign up for underdogfantasy.com and for mybookie.ag, MMA SGPN is your code, and then you get something special, and so do we here. All right, we're going to be back tomorrow. We're going to kick off our PFL previews with the PFL prelims. That's tomorrow. Until then, I will remain Jeff Fox, the future. He will remain God's champ. We'll talk to you then. Bye.